Welcome to all my astrology friends. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to another reading about the monthly horoscope of April now. We're already almost April. And I'm going to have a look at the astrology in general. It's quite an eventful month, and then for every single sign. I must say mea culpa, for the last time that I made a video, I think it was the eclipse, and there was confusion around. I lost even some subscribers. I really did. But anyway, I'm not perfect, just like you. And but it was confusing what I was doing. I've learned from it. I'm going to be extra clear. I'm going to start explaining with the eclipse so that is out of the way. Although I want to talk about something else way more. But anyway, it is what it is. I respect my clientele and I respect you as viewers. So I'm going to do my best to make it very clear to you without confusion. Anyway, that having said, let's have a look at April. What's going on? There's a total solar eclipse going on. There is a Mercury retrograde going on. There is a Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, which is my favorite. That is also going on. So we're going to explain all of that for each and every sign. Of course, not too long. We're all about, truthfulness, honesty, and no blah, blah, blah. Trop de blah, blah. Me dit cet homme-là. That's a song. Who sung it? Sung it. Anyway. I'm very cheerful, Is it the weather? I don't know. Yesterday we had a very beautiful day. 17 degrees, which is like, ooh, spring is coming. But anyway, let's not talk about the weather. Let's talk about this eclipse. This eclipse is a very fiery one. And it's a North Node eclipse, which are my favorite eclipses because it's a new moon. So it's a total solar eclipse, which means the sun and the moon and the North Node. It's all together in the sign of Aries. It's at 19 degrees. Well, the sun and the moon will be at 19 degrees. And it's like a traffic jam in Aries, because there's so much fire in that sign. Venus is there as well. Mercury is there as well in Aries. So there's a lot of emphasis on that sign. Now the eclipse, having there a new start, it is, you could say, a fresh start, a new beginning. Absolutely, because it's a new moon. It's an extra new beginning because it's an eclipse, and with the North Node, it means something new, something fresh, something that we don't know yet. It's in Aries, which is also extra emphasizing the newness and the pioneering energy and the novelty of it and the excitement of it. Now, the ruler of that eclipse, Mars, is approaching Saturn. So, notwithstanding the fact we have all this fire, and because this eclipse belongs to the Saros cycle 8 North, which is all about, it's a very Uranus kind of eclipse. So this eclipse is all about new ideas and genius insights and new visions. Notwithstanding the fact that is going on, the ruler of it, which is Mars, is with Saturn. So it shows that we're going to be full of boundaries, or at least trying to keep our boundaries in check, which is not necessarily a bad thing. So it's the universe, right? It's everything is neutral, but it shows like that's the best way to go for it, right? So the best way to go for it is, yes, you have a vision, you're planting a seed somewhere, but hey, hold your horses, take each step very seriously, and it's almost like step into with a lot of faith, because it's in Pisces, but also Mars approaching Saturn means like, be cautious, one step at a time, less is more, all that kind of good stuff. So that's first thing that is going on. The second thing that is going on, that's on the 8th of April, by the way. On the 2nd of April already, Mercury goes retrograde. So in the area, in Aries, at 27 degrees, so in that area where we're going to have all that new beginning and new start and vision and whatnot, there's a Mercury retrograde. So this coincides very well because it shows that there is like a reassessment, a rethinking of something that has to do with that area of our life where Aries is. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm going to talk about those things, the eclipse and the Mercury retrograde at the same time. I'm just thinking that people who misunderstood me, they probably have skipped the intro. But anyway, I don't blame them. You do what you've got to do. But anyway, as besides, and the intro is so important, I think is the most important part of the video. But anyways, so again, this retrograde at 27 degrees of Aries, it's going to make us think in a different way towards that new action, towards that, something new that we are having in our minds, but that we are careful for with the Mars there, that we are careful to how to approach that. We are a bit, in a negative way, you could say scared, and in a positive way, we're just cautious. We're cautious, and the sun is coming in, which is nice, I hope you can still see me. Well, you probably see me a bit too much. Anyway, so the shadow is already working of this retrograde on the 19th of March. And it's the end of it. So going direct again on the 26th of April, but on the 14th of May, it's out of its shadow. So it's a pretty long, you could say, total period of this Mercury retrograde. But at the beginning of the month, the 2nd of the month, we're having it. And then on the 26th, 27th of the month, it's going direct again. So with contracts, with communications, know that this is a pocket of time where there is like a go backwards and forwards. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's so that whatever that area of life is, it's to improve it. So it's pretty serious, that Aries area that we are going to have a lot of energy. Now, but what I'm really thrilled about is the third thing that I'm going to mention in your chart, which is the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. It's the favorite aspect that I had for the whole year. It's happening around the 20th and 21st of April. So yes, it's a very specific moment in time that this Jupiter in Taurus is now, actually as I speak, it's approaching Uranus in Taurus. And that's going to be also around 21 degrees of Taurus. So if you've got planets there, or 21 degrees of Scorpio, 21 degrees of Taurus, 21 degrees of Leo, 21 degrees of Aquarius, you feel this. This is actually a very significant moment. Why? Because it's such a positive conjunction. It's such a constructive conjunction. If you go on that neutral ride of Jupiter, Uranus, everything in of energy, you could say, is neutral. But if you respond to it in a way that you go on that ride, there is a massive opportunity for expansion, massive opportunity for freedom, massive opportunity for something unique, innovative, fresh, purposeful, hugely liberating in our lives. And don't we need that all? It must mean that we need it all, otherwise it wouldn't be there. And it's for your future life. It's for your future growth of your soul's purpose. Jupiter is purpose. Jupiter is purpose. It's not only expansion and whatnot, but Jupiter is purpose, finding purpose. It's in Taurus, in the real stuff. In real life, it's tangible. Whether it is money, whether it is finding purpose in the beauty, whether it is finding purpose in calmness. But whatever it is, this Jupiter is going to conjunct with Uranus, and Uranus always wants to innovate. It always wants to liberate. So what a conjunction this is. The last time this happened, I think it was in 2011, that we had the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. Then it was at the very end of Pisces, and also it happened in Aries. And I can remember that of course, depending on what Jupiter is in your chart, I'm going to have a look at that. For me, it's my ruler. So, and it was in my third house of, learning. And I took, it was from then that I took astrology very serious, and that I started to give classes, not in the astrology, something else, but that I started to do something different with my job that I was currently doing. So for me, it was indeed all of that, what I was just mentioning, liberating, purposeful for the longer future. So this is every like 13, 14 years that this happens. Make the best out of it. What is it that you want to be innovative and purposeful and so on? We're going to have a look at it. We're going to have a look at that part of your chart. Let's get started. I don't want to make this video too long and very clear, that it's bang, 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 like Aries. We are in Aries energy here in April. So first of all, I'm going to say the solar eclipse, then with the Mercury retrograde, and then I'm going to talk about the Jupiter-Uranus and not the other way around. Okay, so first of all, the eclipse, of course, for Aries, it's about you. It's about you. And it doesn't really matter at what degrees. Why? Because there's so many planets in Aries now. So for you, it's totally a new beginning. What is it? And for you, it's your life path. So the whole introduction is for you. It is specifically for you. If you have skipped it, go back to it. It's typically for you, that solar eclipse for sure. So new beginnings, new starts, new adventures. And you like that. What you don't like probably is this, especially when you are younger, is probably because your ruler is with Saturn, right? And it's in your 12th house. So it's probably like, I can't go full force, but trust it will come. The changes will come. You have this seed that you can plant. And whether it is for a relationship, whether it is for a job, whether it is for a project, it's your lifetime that is really here in a refreshment. And because also the retrograde is happening in your sign, it means that you are going to reassess yourself, which are always very important moments, because when we do, we profile ourselves in a different way, especially when Mercury goes direct. When will that be? Around the 26th of April. So profile yourself in a different way, for sure. And how you communicate to others, for sure. And that's really, really interesting, because this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that I was talking about, that is so rare every 14 years, is falling in your second house, which is amazing, because there is an innovation there happening in the second house. There is something new. There is like growth. So for you, it could mean a sudden growth in income. It could also mean a sudden growth in self-worth, because you've been working hard. So there's something freeing up here. And that is a huge thing. That could mean a promotion. It also rules your 9th and your 12th house, this Jupiter. So it could also mean because your mindset is so different. And because of that, you go up a level. So there is a growth in your confidence for sure. I like it. Taurus, all this Aries energy is in the 12th house. So for you, this is on an unconscious level. You could be really, really activated by what, how would I say, what is not known for you, your blind spots. There is a huge spotlight now on your blind spots, and everyone has them. Now, what you can do is being open for it. Like, let the blind spots show itself. What's going on here? So in a good way, this can help you to understand the unconscious, because it is said, isn't it, that we make our decisions, for a lot of percentage, it's ruled by the unconscious. So make sure that you learn from it. There's something in the unconscious that that is going on, but that you're, pushing away. Don't do that, look at it. Even if it's going to be a bit, strange, or even if you say, oh, but wait, I will have to do my way of doing in a different way, in a more cautious way. It's in your 11th house of friendships and of your goals for the future. So you might be very cautious with that you are trying to do that as best as you can and to take that responsibility. So what's your dreams? What are you dreaming of? And that is your unconscious talking. Put a book next to your bed if you do dream, because it can be a lot of information there. And with the Mercury retrograde, which is not an easy transit to have there, but it can unfold and unravel some secrets that you are keeping from yourself, that are obvious for others though, but that are secret to yourself. That's your 12th house. And when Mercury goes direct, which is on the 26th of April, 27th of April, you're gonna know, because then it's like losing your keys, for instance, losing your keys, and you've put them somewhere, but you don't know it anymore. And when you go deep and delve deep into the unconscious, you can find it again. And that's basically it, when you relax and when you are, the 12th house and having an eclipse there is an invitation also to relax, if you can, of course. And, but it's also important, the pitfall is not to put yourself down. Right? It's the house of self-undoing. So don't destroy yourself in a way, right? That is like that sacrifice that you're doing for yourself or whatever it is. So it's a bit of an interesting house there. Now, of course, what is way more adventurous for you is the Jupiter-Uranus in your sign. So what I was talking about the innovative energy, about the new energy, the freeing up, you free yourself up. No one else can do it for you. So once you kind of go inwards and really look at your truth, you can make changes. So no one's going to do it for you. You will have to do it. You will have to be accountable. You will have to take that responsibility. You are the purpose, and you can grow, but only you can liberate yourself for whatever it is that you feel is also not safe. Because this Uranus in your sign is really tricky there, you could say. Now, Jupiter rules the 8th and the 11th house, so this can have to do with money that you share with someone else, whether it is a business partner, a spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend. It can also mean that, I'm just checking, I don't know why, but is it still a light? Yeah, the light is still on green. Anyway, I had a little bit of problems before, but anyway, I don't have them anymore now. So, yes, the value of other people. There is something here that is going to reveal itself as well. And again, that 11th house, it also rules Jupiter, your 11th house of friends and of goals. So there is something liberating coming up here for you, but very important to work on the inside if you want to change the outside. I know it's cheesy, but it is like that. Geminis, this is happening in your 11th house. I really like this because Gemini, Aries, that is a sextile energy, which is nice energy. New stuff for the future. This eclipse, this Mercury retrograde, it's a new beginning when it comes to a certain goal. For sure, a lot of you Geminis will have those interests in new goals for the future. And it's just the planting of a seed. It can also mean a totally new friendship. It can also mean the ending and the beginning of a friendship. And it can also mean, because the Mars is in your 10th house, that you will have to do some work, at your career, but very cautiously and surely. But whatever it is, there's a going backwards and forwards with how you profile yourself as well if you have your own business, because the 11th house is also a very network kind of house. It's also an income house if you have your own company, for instance. It's the 2nd house of the 10th house, which means income. So there is some newness coming in here, and it's quite fiery and it's new. It's something that you haven't done before. Now, the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that I was talking about in Taurus is in your 12th house. So this is happening behind the scenes. It's almost as if you have support from the invisible world, period. That's how I'm seeing it. And Jupiter is also the ruler of your 7th house, which is your connection with a romantic partner, a business partner. So there could be a partner, a business partner, a romantic partner that is really helping you, but it's behind the scenes. someone is really helping you forwards, but you can't really see it, but you sense it. Very positive energy there in your 12th house with these two planets there of, it's also letting go of old patterns, and you're finding a lot of purpose there. Old patterns, I mean, karmic patterns, ancestral patterns, and all of that. With Jupiter there is a possibility for release, and that you really feel that. Excuse me. Cancerians, this eclipse, and including with the Mercury retrograde, is happening at the top of your chart. So this has all to do, if you work. If you don't work, it has to do more with either a parent, there is something new happening there, or the way that you want to profile yourself. Maybe you're 72, you say, Veerle, I don't work. It is the way that you want to be seen in society. So maybe your contribution of your positive energy, for instance, is important. It's important for society. You are an element of everything, right? So you do have a contribution, and every contribution is important. If you do work, it's your work. It's definitely, there's something new here. There's something that can be done in a fresh way, in a new way, launching something new that you've never done before, and at the same time going backwards and forwards with ideas. So give yourself some time. If you want to do something that relates to contracts and so on, I would suggest to do that after the 26th of April. Now, the juicy stuff, that innovative possibility, that positive energy of Jupiter and Uranus coming together every 14 years, is happening in your 11th house. So this is already a very future-oriented energy, expansive energy, new energy. So there could be, it's in the house of your goals for the future. So it's like a double whammy of the future. So it could mean a person, a friend kind of person that has an enormous impact on you in a very positive way of you freeing yourself up, you growing, expanding, you having more desire to create your own future. If it's not that, there is an expansion, or you could have help from a friend that is a bit unusual. The Jupiter-Uranus, it's not the most conservative person. It's a person that is very independent, does his own thing or her own thing, and that can help you with also establishing your new goals for the future. So actually it's very future oriented for you, and it's very liberating in the long run, and also soul's purpose. There is if you are the type of Cancerian that has been having difficulties with what's my purpose, you're going to find it here, and it's going to come through your network and through another person. Leos, this is all happening in your 9th house. I really, really like this because you are another fire sign, right? And this eclipse, the solar eclipse, is also happening in the fire sign of Aries in your 9th house, where also the Mercury retrograde will fall, all the 9th house. What does that mean? The 9th house is the house of your perspective. So it's the house of your mind, how you see things in the bigger picture. So if that shifts, everything shifts. So that's why we always say, you want to have changes in your life, and you're just waiting until other people change. No, with you, for certain here with this energy that there's a mindset that is changing. So you are changing from within. It could be through travel that you're doing, through a book that you're reading, through the connection with the divine that you feel is closer, through studies, through your own teachings. You teach others, or you are going to maybe study something new. It could mean publishment as well. So if you're, for instance, a writer or a creator of some sort with the word, creating the words, starting a YouTube channel, for instance, this is amazing energy. Because the 9th house is international house, you could say. And having connections with people all over the world. So this is good energy. It's good to go backwards and forwards with your ideas. Maybe first you have the idea to do, let's say, YouTube. And then on the second, when Mercury goes direct, you're not going to use YouTube. You're going to use maybe Instagram or whatever, or the other way around, whatever it is, know that give yourself space to go backwards and forwards with these ideas. It could also mean that you have a totally new idea. You have a totally new way of, not idea, because the eclipse is about ideas, but a state of mind. And that mindset, because Jupiter is ruling the 5th and the 8th house. So the conjunction that I was talking about in Taurus, that beautiful Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, is falling in your 10th house of work. So there could be like a new idea that you're having, or you're going to learn something, or you're going to study something, and definitely you will be able to apply it very quickly at the same time in your work, for instance. So that could be the story. On another level, Jupiter-Uranus in that 10th house means freedom when it comes to your work. So if you're that kind of Leo that has been waiting for that moment to free yourself up, that's it. The 5th house, what Jupiter rules in your chart, is creativity. The 8th house is a deep house of transformation. So there's definitely a lot of Leos who are going to find their soul's purpose with the work area. And that's nice for sure. Virgos, this is all happening, this eclipse and your ruler going backwards, it's all happening in your 8th house, which is a secret house, you could say. So it's something that other people will not know that you're dealing with. So a lot of new beginnings in that 8th house. It can mean a couple of things. Let's start with the mundane. It can mean money. It can mean that there is an ending and a new beginning in the money that you share with another person. So it could mean investments, loans and whatnot, the endings, the new beginnings, all those cycles. But it's fresh and it's new. And it's a new start for sure. On another level, it's deep psychological battles that have to do with imaginary fear that you have tackled, or that you are, how would I say, have new insights and new pioneering work that you are doing there. Of course, the 8th house is the house of the occult. So some of you could start to study that, study astrology, study tarot, whatever it is. But also, your mind, with the Mercury going backwards and forwards, will be a lot around those topics. So it's a very intense month for you, because you're going to have to deal with stuff that is really important, which is the 8th house. It's the life and the death house. It's the house of rebirth. It's the house of something shifts and transforms. So it's also the house of understanding your own deep psychological taboos, so to speak. Then Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in your 9th house. What is that all about? This is lovely. This is lovely because this is in Taurus, and you are a Virgo, so this is a fellow earth sign. And Jupiter is a ruler of your 7th house. So many of you will meet someone significant. And the 9th house can represent whilst you are traveling, whilst you are studying, whilst you are teaching, whilst you are learning something, whilst you are going to a cultural event. So there is like this epiphany happening for you in the 9th house. Jupiter and Uranus in the 9th house. I love it. It's like feeling purpose, innovative, liberating energy around your mind. It's like you set yourself free in the mind. I really love it. I really love it. It could also mean that you're meeting someone that has, that has a different background. And that is not a typical person that you would attract in your life. And that is giving you a lot of purpose for your future, right? So, but again, if you are single, this could mean that you're going to meet someone. Librans, this is happening, this eclipse, this Mercury retrograde 7th house. So this is all about you and relationships. This is all about new beginnings. So a lot of Librans will start new relationships, and the ones that are not fulfilling anymore. But certainly a lot of you will start new relationships with this energy. Yes, I gotta say, I don't like to mention that a lot because people get very anxious when I'm saying that. Like, You know, a lover can come back, or someone you've known, and there could be a person that comes back. Yes, because the seventh house is lovers, romantic partners. Mercury is going backwards and forwards. So yes, it could be like that. But again, if you don't want that, then you say no. You don't open the door, figuratively or literally. Anyway, so you have that power, right? But it could mean that if you had a breakup and both of you are wanting to talk about this is a good energy to come back and to talk about it, to sort it out, and all of that good juicy stuff. Now, Jupiter and Uranus is in your 8th house. So this shows the purpose, the innovation of a transformational energy. So the 8th house is life and death. It could literally mean money from someone else coming in, or a loan, or the end of a loan, or something new, money coming free, or you having more money and that's coming from another person, or more value, more emotional support that you're getting, more understanding that you're getting from another person via a relationship, more intimacy that you're getting, more sex that you're getting. Sex, it's not just intimacy, it's more than that. Intimacy is more, right? Sex can be a part of that, but it's more. It's the 8th house. It's body, mind, and soul. So really, really good stuff there for the Librans for sure. Scorpios, of course, on the 23rd, you're going to have your full moon in Scorpio on 4 degrees of Scorpio. So this is an important month for you as well, because there's a lot of things coming to fruition. Now, this solar eclipse and the Mercury retrograde in Aries is in your 6th house of your day-to-day life. So there is like, yeah, I want to rethink stuff on the 2nd of April with this Mercury. But I want to rethink stuff that makes my life easier, right? Therefore, it's a very good transit to make your life more efficient, with less drama, with less, it's kind of more fluent. But it's also an eclipse there. So there could be a new job coming in for you, maybe a breakthrough when it comes to your health. Maybe you're going to go to the gym now, and it's a good start for that for sure. With that eclipse there in your 6th house, it's new beginnings, and especially if you've never done that before, if that is something doing for your health that you've never done before and that you're doing now, and it takes a lot of courage, that is going to really help you out in the long run. And this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, I love this for you. I really, really love this for you. This in Taurus, your 7th house of relationships. So if you're single, this could be a new person. And who is this new person? It's a Jupiterian and Uranian kind of person. This is a unique kind of person, that unique for you because you've never attracted that kind of person in your life. So it's probably a person that values Jupiter and Uranus very much, and that's reflected in your 7th house. So what is that? It's also valuing a lot of liberty, equality, individuality, space, independence, innovation, purpose, finding purpose in life. So it's really someone that you can meet that helps you grow a lot, and that you find a lot of purpose in life because of this relationship. Even if you are in a relationship, this could mean that you're going to meet some sort of a mentor that can help you a lot. And Jupiter rules your 2nd and your 5th house. So they could help you to increase your talents, to increase your validation and your confidence, but also how you express yourself. It's very, very positive transit for sure. Sagittarians, wow, what a month. What a month, because you are a fellow fire sign from Aries, like Aries is, and the solar eclipse, the Mercury retrograde, it's all happening in a fellow Aries, a fellow fire sign, which is called Aries. And it's your 5th house. It's the most jolly house. It's the expressive house, the house of children. So there could be, with this eclipse happening, something new if you have children with your child, but it's a very pioneering new kind of thing. So maybe it's the first time that they have a job. Maybe it's the first time they go to school, whatever. There is something really fiery and energetic there. Mercury goes backwards and forwards though. So it could also mean that you kind of rethink that house, that you kind of reassess what's going on there with your child, or with the topic of children, but it's not only that, it's also love and romance. It's where it starts. For those of you who are single, this is a good sign. Again, I don't like to say like a blast from the past and people are coming back into your life. This could be the case though, because Mercury is the ruler of your 7th house and it's in the 5th. So it could mean an old lover coming back. Again, if you don't like them, just figuratively and literally close the door. I mean, you have responsibility and accountability for that as well. But if you do like them, there's a possibility of that, of someone coming back or at least talking about something, and there's something new brewing here. So on another level, it's also projects or, the things that fire you up, that the things that you do that are very creative, that are from your heart. So it could also mean like a new hobby that you're going to start. You could say a new hobby, yes, because it's the solar eclipse, but also maybe something that you've done when you were very, very young. Maybe you were 7 years old and you did ballet, and now you're going to pick that up again at the age of 40, whatever. Anyway, these things are possible with this kind of configuration. And of course, your ruler is meeting Uranus. This is far more important for a lot of you Sagittarians, because this only happens once every 14 years. So, and it's in your 6th house. So you meet up with Uranus. So first of all, it's not going to be a boring month. I think you're going to like it very much, because the 6th house is an important house of work and day-to-day routines and health. And with Jupiter Uranus, like for instance, if you're having some sort of issues with your health, this could mean something new coming up that is going to help you. And something a bit alternative, it's Uranus. Maybe you're going to do some acupuncture or whatever, chiropractic, how is it called? But something that is a bit unusual, that is a bit out of the ordinary, not the classical stuff, but of course complementary. If you're having problems with your health, I always recommend doing both. I always recommend go the classical way and go the alternative way at the same time. But anyway, it can also mean your work. So that there is something really exciting happening here. And there is a sudden Uranus change when it comes to your day-to-day work. A breakthrough. I see a breakthrough for a lot of you. And it's going to be like the beginning of a lot of growth and a lot of purpose. Finding a lot of purpose in work. Jupiter in your 6th house, finding a lot of growth there as well. And a lot of hugely liberating. So if you are that Sagittarian that has been working a 9-to-5 job and you are absolutely finding it, that it's soul wrecking, there is something new here. And of course, you make it happen because it's your ruler. Very exciting. I could go on and on because this is such an important transit here that you are going through. So it is a bit unsettling though, because it's your ruler, being with this nervous breakthrough energy of Uranus. So prepare yourself, dear Sagittarians, ground yourself as much as you can so that you're ready for the new, for sure. Capricorns, all of this solar eclipse, Mercury retrograde stuff is happening at the core of your chart, your 4th house, which is an emotional house, which is literally your house. Let's start with that. So there could be literally for you a move, right? With a new beginning there with the home. And that could be a lot of going backwards and forwards and contracts and whatnot. So if you can delay it, writing contracts after the 26th of April, do so. If you can't, it's not the end of the world, but know that there's going to be like readjustments that need to happen there. On another level, it's your security. So there's like this new start of emotional security, or a new start of how you emotionally respond to life, basically. And that is like a new setup that is launched there. But you've been thinking about it. You could also go, if you live in another country than your home country, for instance, you could go back with the Mercury retrograde there. You could go back, for instance, to your home country to visit. Jupiter rules your 3rd house. So there could also be a visit of relatives and whatnot. But it's really interesting. to have that safety there, a new way of safety that you have found. Jupiter-Uranus conjunction happening in your 5th house, which is nice, and you are a fellow Earth sign. So this is happening in Taurus, your 5th house. This could mean a new love, a new romance, for sure. If it's a new child, it's definitely a very unique one and a genius, so to speak, Jupiter with Uranus there. But whatever it is, so children, love, romance, projects, hobbies, things that you want to do to enjoy yourself. There's novelty here. There's innovation here. There's liberation here. You could start your own business, Jupiter-Uranus there. And definitely with Jupiter ruling the 3rd house. So there's a lot of communication stuff as well, PR stuff that is possible if you do want to launch your own business, for instance. But whatever it is, it's definitely something fiery, something unexpected, something, and the person that you could attract here, the love connection that I was talking about, could be really Jupiter-Uranus like. So what do I mean by that? Innovative, from abroad, or Jupiter. I mean, that's a possibility, right? Someone who loves independence, someone who's very freedom loving, someone who is very innovative and wants to expand and grow in life. Beautiful. Aquarians, this is your 3rd house where the eclipse is happening. And that's in Aries, so that goes well with you because that's sextiling your energy. So this solar eclipse, this Mercury retrograde, it's all falling in your 3rd house. So there's some sort of a new beginning there in that house. That could mean new neighbors, a new start with your siblings, for instance, a new way of you dealing with them, and in a fresh way, in a new way. But you've been thinking about this. With the Mercury retrograde going backwards and forwards, you want to improve it. You want to make it better. And so it is a relational house in a way, because it has to do with people in your neighborhood. So there could be new developments there. On another level, when you have your own business, this could mean a new website, starting something new when it comes to your PR, writing a new, with the Mercury, especially with the Mercury retrograde, if you have a vlog or a blog or whatever, that you're going to do this in a new way, in a fresh way, definitely. Or that you start up something on the 2nd of April, or at the end of March, beginning of April, but then when Mercury goes retrograde, you're rethinking it and you're doing it in a different way. So maybe first you're going to start a vlog, and then you say, no, I don't like it, I'm going to do a blog, or the other way around. Anyway, these are just examples of you thinking about how you're going to communicate. You could be learning something that you've already learned in the past and picking it up again. So traveling, you could go to a short trip that you already been before, because it's the retrograde. So it's kind of the only thing that you need to take care of, so to speak, or to be aware of with the Mercury retrograde in that position, is like the backups, right? Of phones and keys and computers, and because that tends to be a little bit more vulnerable when Mercury goes retrograde there. For writers, it can mean editing, rewrite something. For travel, it could also mean some sort of a delay that you're going to have. But you know, that's not the end of the world. This Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is in your 4th house. That's really, really strong. Why? Because the 4th house, yes, for some of you, it's literally a home. So that could be that you're going to, and especially I see with this Jupiter, a bit of grander, bigger. So you could move, for instance, but of course not all Aquarians are going to move. But Jupiter-Uranus in the 4th means that finding a lot of purpose there. At home, or with your emotions, finding a lot of freedom, emotional freedom, right? So that you feel a little bit detached, that you feel like, hey, you know, there's no strings here. There's no power struggles here with relationships, with important relationships. There could also be a change with how you view your parents, or relating to them in a different way. That is very new and pioneering. And but definitely, as Jupiter also rules your 11th house of friends and goals, there could be a new goal that is related to feeling more safely emotionally, and that you're going to apply that. Last but not least, Pisceans, this is your second house with all this energy of Aries. So the solar eclipse and the Mercury retrograde, on a basic level, this is your money. So there is like new developments there. That could be, first of all, because with this Mercury retrograde, that could be like something that you have to address on a financial stuff, and that it becomes almost in the beginning a little bit worse, your situation, but it is to make it better in the long run. So on a financial level, there could be planting a new seed there with that solar eclipse on the 8th of April. And when Mercury goes direct again on the 26th, 27th of April, you know how to deal better with your money, with your resources, with your assets, and all of that. So it's also for your confidence. So you could be having a little bit of a drop in the confidence with the Mercury retrograde, going backwards and forwards, but ultimately it's going to be an upgrade after that Mercury goes direct again. But definitely new beginnings in self-worth, and allow yourself things that are good for you, basically, Pisceans. That's really an important message. Allow the things that are good for you. Now, your ruler, of course, your ancient ruler is Jupiter. And this Jupiter is conjuncting with Uranus in your third house. What is that all about? You know, what I was talking about in the introduction, every 14 years this is happening. This is quite rare. It is a bit nervous kind of energy because your ruler, which is you, is approaching a very exciting, nervous, kind of breakthrough energy. So there is a breakthrough and a lot of optimism and new excitement coming up for you in that third house. What is the third house? When it comes to people, it's your neighborhood. It's the neighbors, it's siblings. There's something very positive there and something very purposeful and new, and maybe a breakthrough in a connection with a neighbor or with a sibling. On another level, it's communication. So there is a breakthrough in communication. If you work for yourself, for instance, this would be a new website that you're launching or something new for the PR. It's very, very busy. It's when I had Jupiter Uranus in my third house, I kind of studied astrology in a very practical way. I made it practical by doing it in my neighborhood, right? I was just doing free workshops and workshops and whatnot, and you know, doing something with knowledge. So it could mean that you're going to study something, or that you will be the teacher of some sort. It could be that as well. Trips, short trips as well. It could mean that you're going on a trip, and it's super, super expansive, and it's super like, you know, a breakthrough that you're having. You feel very purposeful. You find a lot more purpose in what you think and what you learn, and you're growing there. And so it's a mind area as well, you know, that third house. It also rules your 10th house, so there could be for some of you also an expansion considered there with work, that you're learning something and that you're going to apply it directly as a new career. Anyway, having said that, this is a very eventful month, as I said in the beginning. Subscribe if you want to, share these videos and comment on them. I read every single comment and I'm very grateful for it. Very grateful for your support as well. And all the best in April. Bye-bye.